day, sending love over to each of you. And today's topic, we're getting into the pain of regret is always 10 times, 1,000, a million times heavier than the pain of discipline. This is what I know for sure. So it's going to be a good one today. Any value that you guys have been getting for the week, feel free to go ahead and drop it down below. Any celebrations, let's get you celebrated, and let's go ahead and get into today's topic with a little bit of gratitude to kick it off. Grateful for each of you again for another day. As always, grateful for God for another day to breathe, to wake up, to grow, and to go ahead and push the needle a little bit farther than yesterday. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a story. Back when I was graduating college, this is one of my favorite pieces that really taught me about regret. And I'll never forget it. It's something I always carry and cherish with me, something really close to my heart. And this was it. We had to do 80 hours of community service. And I wasn't looking forward to it. And I had to be done to be able to graduate. And I had about 8 months to crunch it out and finally get it done because I had put it off for so long. So I was looking around. And I found a couple of different spots. I went to the YMCA because I love to play basketball. So I wanted to play sports to get it out of the way. And I found some environmental plant places where I ended up picking weeds and going through some pretty cool botanical gardens. That was nice. And I had about 40 hours left, and there was nothing. Everything was taken at this point, and I was like, I need to just finish this. And the only thing that I saw, there was like five different choices, and one of them was actually a nursing home. So I was like, well, this is what's left. Let's go ahead and make the best of it. So I went over to the nursing home, and I had about 2 weeks that I got the opportunity to spend there, and it was one of the most powerful, most impactful 2 weeks that I've ever experienced. And I had a goal. I had a mission when I went in there to be intentional. And I had I would say, very few questions that I heard a differentiation factor. But here's what I noticed. Okay, here was the pattern. Everybody that I asked, I always asked everybody that was 60, 50, 90 years old inside of this nursing home that was, bedridden, most of them. They all had something that they wished they could have gone back in time that they wish they would have done. Every single person was living with regret, whether it was a business that they wanted to start, whether it was their dream body that they wanted to go out and create, whether it was traveling, some of their dream destinations. So many people had so many cool places that they never had a chance to lay their eyes on. And it really just made me think, how fast life really goes. Because I can tell you, almost all of them, all of those individuals could remember just like that times when they were little. You show them a picture when they were 5 years old, and they can go back and they can envision that moment. Memories are very powerful. I don't know if you guys know this, but think about it. We can transport in a matter of an instant. Look at a picture of yourself when you were 7 years old, and sometimes you can even go back. You can remember that moment. So, absolutely, Terrell. So the lesson of the story is this: if I asked every single person if you could go back in time and you had the opportunity, what would you have done? And everyone had an answer: to go after the business, to commit after that idea, to go out and make a brand, to go out and see what the highest form of our potential could actually be. And one of the next best things I followed from my mentor, because I told him that story, he said, "Yeah, I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine that all of these individuals, when they pass, and they get the opportunity to go ahead and meet the highest version of themselves, what do you think that looks like? Do you think they're identical to that 10x highest potential? Or are they looking at that version like, wow, that's what I could have became? That's what was inside of me all along? And I actually started envisioning that for myself. And that became some of my worst fears, to be able to go ahead and meet that person and look at him and realize I had so much potential that was tapped inside. It just took a little bit of action, faith, belief, consistency, discipline to go ahead and allow that to transform into reality. So, just something to think about coming in today, fam, is what are some things that you've been afraid to do? What are some things that have been inside of your gut that you've been waiting to go ahead and get out, that maybe you're